There's something incredibly powerful about awareness, the ability to recognize what is and isn't serving you. It's a game changer, especially when it comes to protecting your peace, your dreams, and your growth. Today, I want to talk about something that quietly sabotages your potential every day. Something that holds you back from the life you deserve. I'm talking about ignorance specifically. The ignorance of others and the way it can seep into your life, limit your progress, and drain your energy. We've all encountered it. Some people wear their ignorance like a badge of honor, speaking loudly and proudly about things they don't understand. Others hide it behind charming smiles, using manipulation and emotional tactics to hold you in place. No matter the form it takes, one thing is contagious. And if you're not careful, it can become a barrier to your personal evolution. But here's the truth. You don't have to accept it. You don't have to be a victim of someone else's closed-mindedness or toxic mindset. The moment you recognize ignorance, you have a choice. You can either let it contaminate your space, your thoughts and your goals, or you can step away, protect your energy and refuse to be held back. It all starts with awareness. When we talk about ignorance, we're not just referring to a lack of knowledge. Ignorance isn't simply the absence of education, it's a refusal to grow. It's when someone chooses to remain stagnant despite having the opportunity to evolve. It's that stubbornness that refuses to consider new perspectives, new ideas, and new ways of thinking. And when you surround yourself with such people, you invite limitations into your life. You limit your own potential for growth and success. You might think it's harmless at first, those small moments of disagreement, those subtle critiques, those offhand remarks that leave you questioning yourself. But let me tell you, over time they add up. They begin to chip away at your confidence, your clarity, and your ability to think freely. If left unchecked, the ignorance of others can become a prison for your mind, locking you in a cycle of self-doubt and hesitation. The good news? You have the power to break free. It starts with recognizing ignorance for what it is, a force that thrives on resistance, pride, and chaos. It's a force that will never allow you to grow if you let it. So, what do you do once you recognize it? You protect yourself. You set boundaries and you guard your peace fiercely. You refuse to be caught in the trap of trying to educate people who are not ready to learn. This is about your growth, your future, your journey. You are not obligated to convince anyone who is committed to misunderstanding you. It's time to stop pouring your energy into people who won't appreciate it. Instead, invest that energy into spaces where growth is not only encouraged, but celebrated. Surround yourself with people who challenge you to be better, think bigger, and reach higher. In the coming moments, we'll dive deeper into this concept of recognizing ignorance, the costs of staying in toxic relationships, and how to protect your mind and your potential from the weight of negativity. By the end of this journey, you'll understand how to walk away from ignorance, trust your own wisdom, and finally start building a life that reflects your highest potential. So let's get started. Because this is your life, your future, and your time. Don't let anyone or anything hold you back from achieving the greatness that's already within you. The first step to freedom starts now. Problems. Recognizing ignorance, the first step to freedom. Let's talk about something that silently kills your potential, drains your mental energy, and holds you back from the life you deserve. Ignorant people. We all encounter them. Some are loud and obvious, others are quiet and manipulative. But they all have one thing in common. They refuse to grow. They reject knowledge that challenges their beliefs. They resist truth that doesn't align with their ego. And if you're not careful, their mindset becomes a virus that infects your peace, your confidence, and your purpose. But how do you avoid falling into that trap? You begin by recognizing ignorance. Ignorance isn't simply the lack of education. It's not about having fewer degrees or not knowing big words. No, ignorance is a choice. It's a decision to remain mentally blind when the truth is in plain sight. It's a refusal to understand. It's when someone hears wisdom and chooses pride, when they see evidence and choose denial. Ignorant people will argue with you not to grow, but to dominate. They don't want conversation, they want control. They don't listen to understand, they listen to reply. Their goal isn't clarity, it's chaos. They are addicted to the sound of their own voice and allergic to the truth. And here's what makes them dangerous. They're convincing. They wear confidence like armor and manipulate others with emotion, not logic. They make you feel guilty for thinking differently, They mock what they don't understand and ridicule growth as if it's weakness. But hear me clearly. You are not responsible for educating people who don't want to be taught. You are not here to convince someone who is committed to misunderstanding you. That is a battle you will never win, and the longer you stay in it, the more you lose pieces of yourself. The real strength lies in walking away, in guarding your peace, in refusing to give your energy to people who waste it. Life is too short, and your vision is too valuable to be wasted on arguments that lead nowhere. Pay attention to the signs. Watch how people respond when corrected. Do they become defensive and angry, or do they reflect and grow? Ignorance thrives in ego and dies in humility. The people who truly want to grow will be open to correction, willing to listen and eager to learn. Let this be your standard. If someone consistently chooses pride over progress, ego over enlightenment, and chaos over clarity, it's time to step away. Surround yourself with people who sharpen you, not dull you, who stretch your thinking, not shrink your purpose, who challenge you to evolve, not pressure you to settle. Recognizing ignorance is the first step, protecting your mind from it is the next, and walking away from it entirely, that's when you step into power. This is your life. Protect your energy, respect your peace, and never apologize for outgrowing people who chose not to evolve. The cost of staying in toxic relationships. Once you've recognized ignorance, the next crucial step is understanding the cost of staying in toxic relationships. Let's face it, walking away from ignorant people isn't always easy. There's often a deep emotional tie, a history, or perhaps a fear of confrontation. But the truth is, if you keep staying around people who bring ignorance into your life, you're paying a hidden price. And that price is your growth, your peace, and your purpose. The cost of staying in toxic relationships is far higher than the discomfort of walking away. It can be subtle at first, like a whisper in your gut that tells you something isn't right. Over time, though, that whisper grows louder and you begin to feel exhausted, drained, and unmotivated. Think about it. Every time you argue with an ignorant person, you expend energy that could be used to fuel your dreams, your goals, and your passions. Every time you try to convince someone who is not willing to understand, you waste hours of your precious life. These are hours that could be used to elevate yourself, to push forward in your journey, and to surround yourself with people who lift you higher. Being in these toxic environments can erode your self-worth. You start doubting your ability to make good decisions. You second-guess your thoughts and ideas because you've become conditioned to expect ridicule instead of respect. And let's not forget the toll it takes on your emotional health. Being around negativity and ignorance often leaves you feeling emotionally drained, anxious, or even depressed. The truth is, toxic people don't just challenge your ideas, they challenge your beliefs about yourself. They tear down your confidence and make you feel like you're too much, too loud, too ambitious. They plant seeds of doubt that grow into insecurities. And over time, if you allow it, those seeds can take root and choke your potential. But it doesn't have to be this way. The cost of staying in toxic relationships is steep, but the reward of walking away is invaluable. When you remove ignorance from your life, you make room for knowledge, for growth, and for people who truly support you. And here's something even more important. When you cut toxic people out of your life, you raise the standard for yourself and the people around you. You begin to show others that you value your time, your energy, and your peace. You teach them that ignorance will not be tolerated and growth will always be prioritized. Walking away from ignorance is an act of self-respect. It's about protecting your boundaries, your mind, and your future. You do not have to tolerate toxicity to be kind. You don't need to stay in relationships that undermine your spirit in the name of loyalty, fear, or comfort. If they truly respect you, they will understand when you need space to grow. The more you stay in toxic relationships, the more you settle for less. The more you accept ignorance, the more you compromise your own integrity and future. Letting go of these people isn't just an escape from negativity, it's an invitation for something better, something greater. Remember, you are your most important investment. The cost of staying in ignorance will always be greater than the reward of walking away. Choose wisely. Choose growth. Choose peace. How ignorance limits your potential. In this part, let's dive deep into how ignorance can dramatically limit your potential and hinder your personal growth. It's easy to think that being around ignorant people won't affect you, that you can just ignore their negativity and keep moving forward. But the truth is, ignorance doesn't just affect the ignorant person, it affects everyone around them, especially you. Where you're constantly surrounded by ignorance, you are literally placing yourself in a mental and emotional prison. Ignorance is a barrier to growth. It's like trying to run a race with chains on your feet. No matter how fast or hard you try, you can't move forward. Why? Because the negative energy and closed-mindedness of ignorant people are holding you back. One of the most damaging effects of ignorance is the way it clouds your vision. When you are constantly around people who don't believe in progress, in knowledge, or in personal development, their negativity begins to seep into your own thinking. You begin to question whether pushing boundaries, challenging norms, and striving for something better is even worth it. Their mindset becomes your mindset, and that's a dangerous place to be. Imagine that you're trying to achieve something big, something you've been dreaming about for years. You're passionate, driven, and you know what you need to do to succeed. Then, you encounter someone who, without any understanding or empathy, tells you that what you're working for isn't possible, isn't practical, or isn't worth it. They offer no solutions, just complaints and criticism. What happens next? If you stay around people like this, you start to internalize their doubts. You begin to second-guess your abilities, your dreams, and your decisions. Ignorance has a way of making you doubt your vision and lowering your self-esteem. It convinces you that the world is limited, that dreams are for others, not for you. It creates an environment where you don't believe in your own potential anymore. And that's the biggest danger. When you're around ignorant people, you're not just fighting their negativity, you're fighting your own thoughts that have been shaped by their ignorance. Your potential gets stifled. You stop dreaming bigger because they've convinced you that what you want is unattainable. Your confidence is shattered and your ambition is dimmed. Ignorance limits you from seeing the endless possibilities that lie ahead for you. But the moment you walk away from ignorance, you give yourself the opportunity to expand your horizons. You remove the mental clutter and open up space for new ideas, perspectives, and possibilities. Suddenly, you're able to see the world in a different light. Instead of focusing on all the reasons something can't be done, you start looking for ways to make it happen. When you surround yourself with people who are driven by knowledge, growth, and positivity, they challenge you to raise your standards. They encourage you to push harder, to think bigger, and to never settle for mediocrity. They help you see your true potential, something that ignorant people could never do because they themselves can't see beyond their limited perspectives. Removing ignorance from your life is not just about getting rid of negativity, it's about creating room for possibility. It's about investing in an environment where you can thrive, where you can dream without limitations, and where your potential is allowed to flourish. Your potential is limitless, but it can only unfold when you choose to walk away from people who keep you small, who keep you stuck in a box. You owe it to yourself to be in spaces where people empower you, where growth is inevitable, and where ignorance doesn't stand a chance. Let go of anything that holds you back. Embrace your potential and surround yourself with the people and ideas that push you toward greatness. The power of choosing your circle. In this part, let's discuss the importance of choosing the right circle and how it directly affects your personal growth. You've heard the saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. It's true, and it cannot be overstated. The people around you play an immense role in shaping who you become. Surrounding yourself with ignorant people is like choosing to live in a room with no windows. There's no light, no fresh air, and no way to expand your view. Everything feels small, suffocating, and stagnant. Ignorance breeds complacency, and before you know it, you've become a product of that environment. Your thinking narrows, your possibilities shrink, and your growth stalls. But the opposite is also true. When you choose to surround yourself with individuals who challenge you, who believe in learning and personal development, you begin to expand your mind and your potential. They don't just tolerate your dreams, they encourage them. They push you to be better, to think bigger, and to take steps toward the life you truly want to create. Choosing your circle is about more than just finding people who agree with you or make you feel comfortable. It's about aligning yourself with individuals who inspire you, who make you want to rise to the occasion. These are the people who hold you accountable and help you level up. They don't let you settle for less than you are capable of, and they challenge you to pursue your passions with vigor and determination. Now, some people may tell you that being alone or isolating yourself is the solution when dealing with ignorance. While there are times when solitude is necessary for self-reflection and growth, it's important to understand that we were not meant to grow in isolation. Human connection is essential for progress. The people you surround yourself with shape the way you think, the way you act, and ultimately the way you live your life. Think about it this way: if you want to grow, learn new things, and achieve greater success, you have to surround yourself with people who are already doing those things. You need people who can challenge you, who can offer you new perspectives, and who can elevate your vision for the future. They don't have to be perfect, but they should push you forward in ways that ignorant people never will. This doesn't mean cutting off people who have different views from you. It's about finding people who encourage growth, change, and progress. Surround yourself with people who value intelligence, critical thinking, and personal development, not those who dismiss new ideas, keep you in a stagnant mindset, or pull you down with their ignorance. And when you surround yourself with people who push you to be your best, you start to take on their qualities. Their ambition becomes yours. Their curiosity becomes yours. Their hunger for knowledge becomes yours. In this environment, you grow naturally, not because you're forcing yourself, but because you're surrounded by the right energy, the right mindset, and the right influences. So ask yourself today, who is in your circle? Are these the people who make you better? Do they encourage you to think outside the box and pursue your wildest dreams? Or do they hold you back, feed you negativity, and leave you stuck in a place of stagnation? If you want to grow, you have to choose your circle wisely. The people around you should challenge you, uplift you, and remind you of your own power. Cut out the ignorance. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, and watch your life begin to transform. Trusting your inner wisdom and taking action. As we wrap up this journey on how to stay away from ignorant people, there's one crucial point left to address. Trusting your own wisdom and taking action. It's one thing to understand the importance of avoiding ignorant influences, but it's another to confidently act on what you know and make those choices that align with your higher self. There will always be people who try to lead you astray, people who want you to conform to their limited view of the world. But deep down, you know what's best for you. You know what feels right and what doesn't. You have an inner wisdom, a compass that's been guiding you through life, even in moments of doubt. One of the greatest ways to protect yourself from ignorance is to listen to that inner voice. You know, the one that nudges you when something doesn't sit right, or when you're about to make a choice that doesn't align with your true values. That voice is your intuition, and it's a powerful tool. However, many people have been taught to ignore their intuition. They've been conditioned to look to others for validation, for approval, or for direction. They let the opinions of others drown out the quiet, steady voice within them that is constantly guiding them toward their highest potential. If you want to stay away from ignorant people, you have to start trusting yourself more than anyone else. Trusting your intuition means making decisions based on your inner knowledge, even when it feels uncomfortable. It means saying no to situations, relationships, or opportunities that don't serve you, even if everyone around you is encouraging you to go along with them. And it also means taking bold, decisive action when you feel it's right, even if others doubt you. Taking action is where the real change happens. It's one thing to recognize that ignorant people are holding you back, but it's another to make the necessary changes in your life to distance yourself from them. It takes courage to take those steps, but you must remember that every time you act in alignment with your true self, you are creating space for growth. You are setting the foundation for a future that is free from negativity, free from ignorance, and full of opportunity. There will be times when taking action means walking away from people who don't respect you or your path. It may mean letting go of friendships that no longer serve your growth, or even distancing yourself from family members who are steeped in toxic, ignorant beliefs. But know this: making the decision to protect your energy and your peace is one of the most empowering things you can do for yourself. In the process of cutting off ignorance, you're making space for clarity, understanding, and wisdom. You're opening the door to new experiences and new relationships that will support you on your journey. You're allowing yourself to thrive, to become the person you were always meant to be. But here's the thing: trust and action go hand in hand. You can't just recognize what's best for you and then stand still. Trusting your wisdom means taking consistent action toward your goals. Even when it's scary, even when you're unsure, and even when others don't understand. You have to move forward anyway. Remember, every step you take away from ignorance, you're walking towards something much more powerful. Your own growth, your own potential, and the life you've always dreamed of. The people who encourage your growth will become your allies, and you'll find that your life begins to shift in ways that were once unimaginable. Trust yourself. Take action. And keep moving toward a life free of ignorance, where your mind can expand, your heart can soar, and your soul can thrive. You deserve it, and the world is waiting for you to show up, fully and unapologetically. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, the journey toward personal growth and success starts with one powerful decision: recognizing and walking away from ignorance. The cost of staying in toxic relationships and surrounding yourself with people who refuse to grow is far greater than any discomfort you may feel from cutting those ties. It's important to remember that ignorance isn't just a lack of knowledge. It's a mindset, a refusal to evolve, a choice to remain stagnant despite opportunities for growth. When you allow such negativity into your life, you're not just dealing with ignorant people. You're allowing their mindset to seep into your own thoughts, limiting your potential and clouding your vision. It's like trying to run a race while being held back by invisible chains. But here's the liberating truth. You have the power to break free. The moment you recognize ignorance for what it is, you can choose to step away and protect your peace. This isn't about avoiding conflict. It's about preserving your mental and emotional well-being. You deserve to be surrounded by people who encourage you, challenge you to think bigger, and help you reach your highest potential. As you move forward in life, make sure you're intentional about the people you allow into your space. Choose to invest your energy in relationships that empower you, that push you toward your goals, and that celebrate your growth. The right circle will help you thrive, just as the wrong one will hold you back. Let go of anything and anyone that stifles your dreams. Walk away from ignorance and negativity, and surround yourself with those who inspire you to evolve. The world is full of limitless possibilities, but they can only become yours when you choose to protect your peace, guard your energy, and prioritize your personal growth. So take that first step today. Recognize ignorance when it shows up, set those boundaries, and walk away from the things that no longer serve you. Your future is waiting for you to step into it with confidence, clarity, and a powerful mindset. Remember, you have everything it takes to rise above, to grow, and to succeed. Never apologize for outgrowing people who refuse to evolve. Embrace your potential and keep moving forward. The life you deserve is within your reach. Claim it, and let no one and nothing stand in your way. Thank you for being here today. Keep growing, keep evolving, and most importantly, protect your peace.